Hey everybody, we are here. We are live. We got the Kahoot music playing in the background. We'll turn it up a little bit here. There we go. We'll put the code on the screen here in a second. How's everyone doing? I see we got Andrew and Tyler here. We're going to review some material. Start off with some 201. You know, we can show the code right here. Let's do it. Where's my marble button? I haven't used the marble button in a little bit. I need to need my buttons more often. There we go. The button. Press the button. Show the code. The code is on the screen. Tyler is at almost 4,000 points. Andrew, can you beat that? Andrew, can you beat 4,000 points? 4,282 points. Can you beat that? Let's find out. Awesome. I've been past. Office hours are a great way to get points. Oh, that's so close. Wait a minute. Andrew, no, you haven't been. Andrew, you do have more points. This is a neck and neck battle right here. Oh man, that is some heated competition. The questions in the Kahoot. You guys can tell me if the Kahoot music's too loud. Good to see you here, Clarified. Clarified with a lot of points too. Some people are at 5,000. 3,000 is excellent. 4,000 is insane. There's only a few people over 4,000. So if you're over 4,000, you're one of the top people on the channel. So excellent work to those people. And 3,000 is amazing. 2,000 is great. 3,000 is amazing. 4,000 is insane. I think we just had someone break 5,000. So we just over 3,000. Look at that. So that is really awesome. I should have put levels at each 1,000 because I think people like it when they get to the next tier. When people get to like silver or gold tier, and then see, I shouldn't show my points. I'm here all the time. Since I'm here all the time, then I get all the points. See, there we go. I've almost been here 100 hours. Ah, it's 5,000. You're getting close to it. You'll be at 5,000 points soon enough. And that's the max for the class, but everyone's been getting, my goal is that everyone gets the max points. That if people attend, if they send in their points, they should be good. And I've been kind of letting the Mewbots do their thing, or the Mewbots points do its thing. Remember the first week when we didn't have Mewbot, and then I programmed Mewbot because of the craziness. Expert Ant is here first. Expert Ant is in the game. Should we start the game and Expert Ant can win? Eager Lizard. We'll get started in here about 7-8 minutes. 7-8 minutes. Classy Buffalo. Makes me want some buffalo chicken. It's so weird. They just do like random combination of like animal name and adjective. Who will be next? How many people do we have watching right now? I was the first person in the class who broke the rules for himself. Gentle Yak. I break the rules all the time with the points. It's meant to be fun, meant to be interactive. You see, you've got that title. You're like, I'm the first person with the rules broken. You're about to hear a reverb on me. There we go. First person with the rules broken. It's a badge of honor right there to have the rules broken. Be like, I have more points because of it. We will see 250 points on 200 point day. Exactly. Now we're up to 1,000. I've held myself steady. I need to one of these semesters I'm not gonna, things get quiet and then I'm like, people need to respond. So then I'll make the points higher, or someone will impress me and I'll be like, I have to give them more points because they impressed me. They said something really, I want to differentiate. And so I had a thing planned at the start of the semester and then immediately broke it because I guess got to remember my own rules. And then I want everyone to get the points. Yeah, the point sheet is pretty crazy. I've got it stored, so I know that people have tons and tons of points that are not entered in. But just if I enter those in, everything will get crazy, and it'll take a while. But at the end of the semester, everyone should have the points. Don't worry, people will get the 2-point bump to their grade, which is really excellent. And so Mewbot points are kind of cool to look at if we all kind of are on the same playing scale a little bit. And so as long as you attend class and interact, you should get the full points. But then I like seeing Mewbot points. It also let me track how long people have been in class. Well, I can just look at the hours. But there was, I think the R squared, was it 10%? We got Joyful Horse in the game. There was an R squared, I wish it was higher, but the R squared with people's Mewbot points and their test grade, or did we look at that with our data sheet? Oh, I didn't show you guys. I can't do it right now, but we had talked about doing a decision tree with all the data. I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to download the data in the background then because it's got, student info and stuff on it. But I could make a decision tree and look at it to see. It's usually quiz 5 and quiz 6, the regression, the normal curve. If people don't do well in those chapters, then... And I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. Honestly, it definitely makes a difference for me to show up and pay attention. Exactly. Good to see you here, Daniel. Yeah, if you try to watch this stuff later, it just doesn't feel the same if you're not here and you can ask a question and I read it. It's like if you try to watch someone live stream. Genius Sloth is here. If you watch a live stream afterwards, it's like, well, this isn't live. It's not as entertaining or interactive. But right now, you can ask any question you have in the chat and I'll answer it. But don't worry, people can watch this later and get help with the Canvas content quiz. There's a few different simulations on the Canvas content quiz. For the simulations, Bold Wildcat is here with Honest Ferret. We keep losing a person. They keep regenerating their name. We're going to wait another 4 minutes or so. So if you're waiting to join in 4 minutes, and we'll get started here. Canvas clues, exactly. There's going to be a lot of true false. And so the biggest thing is there's simulation on this randomness one. Following the rules of the simulation is key. If it tells you to use certain numbers mean that somebody did donate, I think that's one of them. One of them is like simulating cards. Good to see you, Richard and Nikki. So, yeah, the names are kind of weird, like Legend Sea Lion. So whatever rules it tells you to follow, make sure you follow those rules exactly. You do exactly what it says when it's like, this number means this number means this. I have I have 2 simulations on today's Kahoot. And hopefully no wrong answers from Brian. 4 minutes till Kahoot starts. The sampling quiz is a tough one. That's due tonight now, isn't it? Yep. Everything's a blur. I'm like, when did I push the quiz back to? Not the exam. But the sampling one has a few tricky questions, which you can see in the video from yesterday. So yesterday during office hours, we did a good many of the quiz. We did the whole homework the day before, and then we did the quiz yesterday. So a lot of the answers are out there, and it's just practice and knowing the different variations. You should know things like a simple random sample, a stratified, a systematic, and a cluster. You should know the ways we don't do random sample, like convenience sampling or voluntary bias, which is voluntary sampling too. You should know the different types of bias, like voluntary bias, non-response bias, response bias, and undercoverage bias. So there are a few of these in here today. We got 3 more minutes. Noble Rooster, that's a good name there. They're gonna disappear now. They're like Noble Rooster, and then just gonna go whoop and go away. They're gonna vanish. You guys remember the Kahoot before the test? We had like 100 and what do we have? 180 people. Craziness. Gotta hide the code, or no, we just put the code out there, didn't we? I was like, let's just do it because we're working with different sections. So if I can send it out to our section, but not everyone might know. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're going to start here at 5:01. Flying Dolphin? How is that even possible? How is that even possible, Flying Dolphin? I mean, this is like some fantasy something. Pretty crazy. And it's Flying Dolphin. So you get Honest Ferret versus Flying Dolphin. I don't think the honesty of the ferret's going to win in the battle. Bold Wildcat might win. So, a gentle yak, though, with its kind spirit, always wins. Expert ant. I wonder how many animals and how many adjectives there are. Because if there's 30 animals and 30 adjectives, then you've got a possible combination of 900 different animals. So maybe they have... Ooh, who'd we lose? Where'd you go? I don't remember which one we lost. 2 minutes. Start the 1 minute countdown here soon, but 2 minutes. Have you played 3D Pinball Space Cadet? I've heard of that. Is that an old school game? Is that a late 90s, early 2000s game? Sounds very familiar, but it sounds old to me. It sounds like a late 90s Dynamics Sierra game or something. Dynamics and Sierra... Well, Sierra is still around? Sierra might be around. Dynamics and Activision. Activision's been around a long time. Classy Buffalo. Who just came in? It sounds like a game I played in the 90s. There's a lot of pinball games. I actually wanted to get the pinball things you could put on your keyboard. The music was still there. Oh, man. It's an old Windows game. That's what it is. I knew it was an old school game. I knew Tom's from old school. 1 minute countdown. Clock has started. 1 minute countdown. You'll probably hear it through the timer here. So if you're not logged in, log in. If you don't like your name, change it now. I know, I was about to say, I remember that game. It's like, whatever you're talking about, that is an old school game. Like some Minesweeper. XP era, but you can still download it. So XP, well, Windows 7 came out only in like 2009. And then XP was like 0405 because there was Windows 2000, Windows CE, so Windows 90, Windows 3.1, Windows 3, Windows 3.1, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows CE, XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. No Windows 9. No Windows 9. There's no Windows 9. They had a thing with the off that they, I don't know. Windows 8 was like tablet feature. That's the timer. Don't get Windows 8. It was really bad. Windows 7 was like the jump into the future. Snowy Jaguar. Okay, let's do this. Just shake out my hair here. We're going to get started right here. So if you're not logged into the Kahoot, make sure you're logged in. So start up here in 3 seconds. I pause because there's a delay in the stream. And here we... Someone joined in, Bronze Chicken. Here we... Join in now. Oh, is it join in? 3, 2, 1. Let's start the Kahoot. Let's do this. Oh, we still got Wacky Wednesdays up. Which of these are a good way to generate random numbers? Which of these are a good way to generate random numbers? You've got random number tables, your mind, coins, computers. Which of these are a good way to generate random numbers? Just being a little random right here. Which of these are a good way? Now, there's only one bad way. There's a bunch of good ways to generate random numbers, but you really can't be that. Nice job. Your mind is a really bad way to generate random numbers. Computers can do it really well. Computers used advanced algorithms, but you don't want to generate numbers with your mind. You don't want to just make up numbers. I don't remember my top score, Andrew. I don't remember it. Well, we need to know how to use a random number table for the exam, like we did on the homework. Possibly just understanding, like the Canvas content quiz has some random number tables. The quiz problems are usually or the test problems are usually a little bit easier than the My Pearson quizzes, because it's open book for My Pearson and you can do as many attempts as you want. No, you can use all of these right here. Everything but your mind. Don't try to make up random numbers on your own. It's a bad idea. Don't do it. Am I gonna block the question? Eager lizard. Where can I go that I won't be blocking it? I think I have to go down here and like barely exist. No. There we go. I think I won't block anything now if I'm down here. Awesome. So we have Eager Lizard, and they're doing... Wow, that's a 1-point difference. Will Eager Lizard maintain their 1-point lead over Bold Wildcat? Let's find out here with the next question. True or false? We can use randomness to help us simulate reality by using random numbers to represent outcomes of real events. We can use randomness to simulate reality by using random numbers to represent outcomes of real events. This is the whole point of the chapter, or the majority of the point. So this is what we're doing in this chapter. This is what we are doing right here in this chapter. We are simulating real events. So we're simulating maybe people having children, maybe people taking a multiple choice test, maybe grocery store giveaways. But we can use, remember, take notes on these and make sure when you're doing your Canvas content quiz, maybe you might see this one. Has anyone taken the Canvas content quiz? Anyone taken it? Maybe you can say, oh, that question appears on it. So these Kahoots, which I wish we had more people playing, but don't worry. You guys are going to win. Someone's going to win. So this is definitely on the Canvas content quiz. So, and it could definitely appear on the test. So let's find out. Good to see you here, Alexandra. So let's find out who's going to win. Whoa, shake up of the leaderboard. Dazzled Bison. So this is a crazy leaderboard right now. Really close game. You're currently playing and live streaming in Athens. Oh, that's awesome. Athens, Greece? That's awesome, Clay. Congratulations, man. So great stuff right there. Vols. Let's find out right here. When creating a list of random numbers, it's best to use a computer program or other method to choose the numbers for us. So some sort of not doing it on your own is what it's saying. Not doing it on your own. So best to use a computer program or some sort of other method to create the numbers for us. It's not a trick question. And we're also true. You can use random number tables, but basically what this question is saying is when you generate random numbers, you don't want to just do it on your own. You don't want to come up with the numbers all on your own. You want to make sure you have the numbers generated for you. I wish there was more to say on these. I think once you know it, you know it. That never come up with random numbers on your own. Humans are really bad at being random. We use computers. So we use computers, we use random number tables, we use dice or coins to generate random numbers, but never try to come up with random numbers on your own. So on Canvas, this could definitely be on Canvas. This could definitely be a Canvas content quiz question. So make sure they're in the video now. So if you're taking the Canvas content quiz later, come back and check out this video. Last week, I marked down each question. I might do the same for this week, but I literally had question 1, question 2, question 3. I don't know if I put was on the question, but I put each question. Please tell me the exam is still more like the Canvas content quizzes in the Kahoots. The homework was very confusing. Yeah, it's the exams are always going to be a little bit more like the Canvas content quizzes because we literally take stuff from the Canvas content quizzes or stuff from the tests and put them on the Canvas content quizzes. It was a little tricky. It's one of the tougher ones. And so, Andrew, I think you give some really good advice right there that the quizzes aren't usually so bad if you come to class. It's more difficult when you're seeing the material for the first time and you have to teach yourself, and then you go back and look at the lecture and you're like, okay, what part did he cover this? Where do I go for this? Even with the bookmarks, you're going to be skimming the lecture trying to find it. You're going to be Googling things online. But if you come to class, you'll usually see me work a few problems. I've noticed that a lot of students who do really well usually do the homework with me while I'm doing the homework. Some of the top students I've had, they'll get the homework done while I'm working it. So I'll work a homework or something like during office hours or during class, if I have time during class, and then they'll work it, they'll get it done, and then they'll complete the quiz shortly after. I agree on that with the homework quiz. Awesome. There's just gray area that you could agree multiple answers. Yeah, that's the tough part. So hopefully, please tell us if you think a question's unclear. If it is, we'll definitely try to help out. But our goal is to make everything as clear as possible. But let's use in the lead. Eager Lizard. We always have someone like get in the lead and stay in the lead. So who's going to get the lead right here? Who's going to continue to win? Let's find out. Eager Lizard in the lead. True or false? Computer simulations are necessary in situations where exact answers are either too complex or impossible to determine. Awesome, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Always glad to help out. So would we ever have to use a computer simulation to do a simulation for something that is super complex? Kind of writes the own answer if you think about it. If we have something that's super complex, might we ever have to use a computer simulation to do it? And do I have it saying? Definitely true. Definitely true. You know what's really cool? I don't know if you saw it during the office hours, but I wrote code to do the grocery store simulation. So let's do it by hand. No. You can actually, it's so much easier to simulate the grocery store simulation. You could write code to do it and not have to do it their way. And even doing it by hand, we speed ran it during class if someone's here from another class. During class, we speed ran the grocery simulation. I think we got it done in about 40 seconds. So all we did was write code that does it for us, and then it solves it. So really the answer is computers and coding, really good stuff to learn. So if anyone ever wants to learn more about coding, you know I'm there to help you out. So let's do this right here. Great points there, Nick. Great job. Eager Lizard, but Dazzled Bison. I went sub 30. I think I did, didn't I? It was super quick. Yeah, well, if you want to learn more about coding, just let me know. And especially, I think we've got still some data camp memberships that we can give out. We have like 6 free months of data camp for UTK students, and we have slots for people in 324.74. But let me know if you're a 2-1 student, and I can probably send you the thing that lets you get 6 free months to data camp. Then you can learn Python, you can learn R, you can learn SQL, all that great stuff. Coding really helps out, makes life way easier. So let's continue on. Who's going to be in the lead right here? Yeah, let me know, Tyler. Definitely. 0 through 7 are right answers. 8 through 9 are wrong answers. Perfect percent of time, all answers are correct. It's a 60-second question. 0 through 7 are wrong answers. Right answers. Oh, don't listen to me. 8 through 9 are wrong answers. And then the percent of time, all answers are correct. I hope I did the work correctly. I'm so worried. So what you need to do is you need to start going over the numbers and go, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, and this is correct. That is all correct answers right here in this set of answers. Now we go to look, and you can see the other one. There's one other one. This one has all correct answers here. This one has 2 wrong answers. This has 2 wrong answers. And this has 1 wrong answer. So we tricked a lot of people here. So I should have made clear that it's sets of 5 answers. Maybe I should have made that more clear. We do have 5 correct answers, but you only have so many characters, and I was running out of characters in this. We're looking at how often they get all right, all the answers correct. It's very much like the homework problem. Does that make sense to everybody? We're looking at within this set of answers, did they get them all correct? Now, why are all these answers correct right here? Why are all of these answers correct right here? Oh no. We're going to see a shake up of the leaderboard. Why are all these answers correct right here? So when you have this, you immediately want to start putting it to what it actually is. Because these are all correct answers because they're all through 0 through 7. No 8s or 9s, exactly. On this one right here, there are some 8 through 9s, meaning they are incorrect. And here there are some 8 through 9s, meaning they didn't get them all correct. Here there are no 8 through 9s, meaning they got them all correct. And here there's an 8 through 9, meaning they didn't get them all correct. So definitely within this, we can see there are 2 instances out of 5, making it 40%. There's 2 instances out of 5, which is 40% right here. Does everyone understand how this question is done? When you get these questions, start converting these right here to the simulations. Start converting it to whether or not they got it right or wrong. So these are wrong answers right here. These are wrong answers. So there's another one. There's a redemption one. Are you ready for the redemption one? Let's do it. Let's do the redemption problem. Let's use in the lead, though. Eager Lizard. No, Honest Ferret is in the lead, but Eager Lizard got their first. I'm so sorry, Eager Lizard. I'm so sorry. Let's see who's going to win with the next question here. You ready? King Bowser's in the lead. 0 through 7 right answers, 8 through 9 wrong answers, percent of time, all wrong answers. So it's the same number set. It's the percent of time they get all answers wrong out of 5. Percent of time they get all answers wrong out of 5. So now you have to think, what percent of the time did they get all the answers wrong out of 5? I'm hoping everyone gets this right now. Hey, what's up, Adam? Good to see you. I throw this question. No, Nikki. It's 0% because we'd be looking, show me a pattern where they'd get them all wrong. Show me a pattern in the chat right now where they'd get them all wrong. What is a possible pattern where you would see 5 answers and they would get all the answers wrong? Bingo. Great job, Tyler. That would be all wrong answers. Great job, Rocky Top. Great job, Daniel. Yep, that'd be a pattern where they'd get all the answers wrong. You just need to convert them in your mind to wrong answer, wrong answer, wrong answer, wrong answer. So it's not an 8 or 9 anymore. It just represents wrong answers. Great job, Dan, and clarified too. Excellent work. So hopefully everyone kind of sees here that none of those patterns exist right here. And who's going to be in the lead? You guys can stay. Such a, I don't know. I felt like this is an easier. This is a crazy leaderboard. Whoa, Honest Ferret is on fire. Oh, Honest Ferret. Let's see if Honest Ferret can stay in the lead. It was, oh no, Andrew, did you? Flying Dolphin flying up there to the leaderboard. Let's see who's going to win. It's a crazy game. A researcher is interested in studying UT students. They receives a list from UT with emails of students to contact. So these are the emails of students they can contact. These are the ones they have access to. Hint, hint, hint. This is the group of people they have access to, not all the ones they speak to, not all the ones they're interested in, not the thing they're interested in. These are all the students they have access to. It's going really well, Adam. Good to hear from you. Yeah, it's been a crazy semester, but going really well. Really lucky that, UT, I can't believe I teach from Texas. It's really kind of cool. Really good answers. I tricked some people. Can anyone define what a sample frame is? Because I was giving away the hints of what the answer was. Can anyone define what the sample frame is? I'm in Texas with my fiance. So I'm in Texas and still teaching at UT, obviously. Every person or thing we have access to. I know, right? Thank you so much, Adam. So good seeing you. Yeah, feel free. We're going to do another Kahoot here in a moment. Hang around, join the Kahoot, drop in. We've got a new MuBot. MuBot is here. And so it tracks our points. It gives us quotes. It tells us crazy things we've heard throughout class. There's my points. We got some people near gold tier. The sample frame is every person or thing we have access to. The sample is every person or thing we collect data on. The population is every person or thing we are interested in. Now, so wait, a group of individuals who are part of the population you're trying to study and you have access to. Bingo, Dan, amazing definition right there. That might be out of the book. So, because it's who they want to study. Yeah, Tyler, great question. So the population, we'll make Peyton a moderator. Peyton, you're a mod. So the population would be what? The population would be what? Who thinks they know what the population is? Does anyone have any idea what the population is? Does anyone have any idea what the population is? Does anyone have any idea what the population is? All students, probably. All UT students. So the population would be all UT students. Does that make sense? And then the sample frame would be the list of students they can email. And then the sample would be the students that respond to the email. So it usually goes down in size. You're interested in all students. You have access to the students you can email, like you have a list of students. And then the sample are the students who actually reply and say, here's my response. And then what you ask them would be your population parameters. You might have more parameters. You might be interested in, I don't know, maybe Pokemon Go coming up here next. But so understanding the key differences here really helps for the test, that the sample frame is more theoretical. It's everyone you could talk to. It's always randomness right here. It's always randomness right here. Let's see who's in the lead, Adam. Gentle Yak flying back up there. I thought it was insinuating that they were contact every student. Oh, yeah. Population parameter? Oh, maybe. Oh, I totally get it. Oh, no. Let's see if you can go to population parameter is a researcher is interested in collecting the average time they spend playing Pokemon Go a week. A researcher is interested in understanding the amount of time they play Pokemon Go a week. I'm just going to turn on Pokemon Go. It's randomness right here. What's currently around me? There's a new seasonal Pokemon out today. I also got a shiny, what did I get? I got a shiny Vulpix. Shiny Vulpix. It's kind of cool. It's like my last Pokemon before I was like, okay, I'm going in. And I clicked a Vulpix. I'm going to click another one here. There's a Chansey here? Not shiny Vulpix. I haven't played Among Us yet. Is our randomness. Is it a shiny Chansey? It's not a shiny Chansey. So there were two. I'm going to curveball it. There we go. So there were two right answers here. What I want you to know right now is that the population parameter and the parameter are the same thing. Does this make sense? The population parameter and the parameter are the same word. The population parameter and the parameter are the same word. So I literally just caught a Chansey. There was just, you can't see that, can you? That's so hard to see. Wait, I'll show you. There you go. You can see the Chansey. There's the Chansey right there. Chansey. I don't talk something like that. Now I'm there. Just got a Chansey. I'm not playing Pokemon Go this whole time, obviously. Just turned down for the Mega Brian. Okay, with this, I'm going to turn off Pokemon Go. So with this right here, the parameter is what we are interested in understanding about a population. So population parameters always go together. The four things on the screen have two synonymous things. The population and the population of interest are the same thing. The population and the population of interest are the same thing. So, and the parameter and the population parameter are the same thing. Does everyone understand these are the same things? Hopefully people are getting it. I know we went a little wacky Wednesdays on this, but does everyone understand that the population parameter and the parameter are the same thing? And this is what we want to understand about a population. It's what we're collecting to understand. They want to know how long they spend playing Pokemon Go a week on average. Like the average student, how long do they spend playing Pokemon Go? That would make it the parameter of interest or the population parameter. The key word here is parameter. So whenever you hear parameter, you might hear parameter of interest or population parameter of interest, but the key word here is parameter. So the parameter is what we're interested in collecting, but you can say population parameter. You can also say population parameter of interest. The key word that you will hear, though, is parameter every time. That means the thing we're interested in understanding about the population. So who got it? Let's see. Only 2 people missed it. The leaderboard stays the same. I know how many times can I say parameter once. I think everyone got it down. It's what we're interested in collecting. It's the parameter of interest. So let's see. We only have 2 more questions, I think. Let's find out who's going to win here. The researcher decides to take 50 random samples of campus students and 70 random off-campus students. So we have 50 on-campus students and 70 off-campus students. Is this a simple random sample, a systematic, a stratified, or a cluster? I am so afraid of this question. I am so afraid of the answers. Here's a rainbow. It's too big. Imagination. Oh no. No. Okay, let's go to space real quick. Let's go to space right here. Let's go here to space. Okay, 2 seconds. You 2 more on the screen. You gotta get serious here. Okay. I'm pulling up. Welcome to Word. I don't need that. 2 seconds. Pulling up stuff. Okay. There we go. Got Word open. Let's go back to the main screen. Main screen. Crash. Rainbow's on. Sad rain's on. Everything right here. Okay. So when you have a... Let's go through them again. Oh, yeah. No, we've got some new stuff here. Thank you so much, Adam. We've definitely tried to improve. We got new things. We got new audio. So many things. There's a lot of fun stuff. And we're still trying to improve. We got new intros, too. How could we simple random sample these students? If we simple random sample these students, we would give every student a number and randomly select a number, an amount of students. So this is how we would simple random sample. Alexander, you're totally right. Alexander, that's worth another 1,000 points right there. Exactly. It's definitely stratified because we're acknowledging a difference right there. So now we go to systematic. Systematic would be like start at a random student and sample every 10th student. So this would be a systematic sample right here. The cluster, which we didn't do, would be go to classrooms on campus and sample every student in the classroom. Systematic, oh my gosh, stratified. Acknowledge a difference. Sample blank on-campus students and blank off-campus students. So a cluster is a whole bunch at once. So this is where I see people often get confused, the difference between a cluster and a stratified. With stratified, you are doing group stuff, but if we were to do a cluster sample, because I think cluster cluster was the number 2 option. If we were to do a cluster sample right here, what would we be doing to off-campus and on-campus students? Look at what cluster says. If it was a cluster, you would do what to off-campus or on-campus students? If it was a cluster, you would be taking what off-campus students or what on-campus students? Because you'd go to the group and you'd do what to the group if it's a cluster. By definition, when we do clusters, we do what to the group? How much of the group do we take? We would take the whole entire group. So when you go to clusters, you take a whole cluster. Does that make sense? When you go to a cluster, you take the whole entire cluster and you randomly select the clusters. So it's not a multi-stage, you have to randomly select clusters, like you randomly select within the strata. So strata is when you say, okay, here's the difference. We have on-campus, we have off-campus students. I'm going to pick from these and pick random students. But if you take clusters, you're saying, I have a classroom here and a classroom here. I'm going to take a whole classroom at once. With a cluster, you do a census on the cluster, Tyler. You are correct. So clusters are not a census, but you do a census on the cluster. So when you take every student in the classroom, you are doing a census on the cluster, but you're not doing a census of the population. Does that make sense? because the cluster is its own sample. The cluster is its own taking of a whole bunch of students at once. So you're going to then take every observation from that cluster. You could also do something like, oh my gosh, go away, random thing. So sample every, let's say, go to a floor on a dorm on campus and sample every student on the floor. So the floor of a dorm could be a cluster, but then you might say, well, maybe we need to go to, like Reese, Massey, Grieve. Grieve's not a dorm anymore. But you might say we need to acknowledge differences, and then you could stratify by dorm. So if you were to take whole floors at once, a floor would be a cluster. But then if you said we need to make sure we take so many from this dorm, so many from this dorm, so many from this dorm, then it would be stratifying by dorm. Because you're not going to take the whole dorm, maybe. You're going to say we need to take 3 floors from this dorm, 3 floors from this dorm, 3 floors from this dorm. So the floor would be the cluster, and then acknowledging the differences between dorms, like if we were to sample 3 floors from each dorm, then you're stratifying by dorm. Does this make sense right here? You're not taking the whole dorm. You're going to say we're going to stratify by dorm to acknowledge the differences. So we can get 3 floors from this dorm, 3 floors from this dorm. So the cluster would be the floor, and then the stratifying would be on the dorm. I don't know how to talk. Does this example make sense right here? How you take the whole floor, but when you stratify, you sample within the stratus. You're going to sample 3 floors within each dorm because you're saying the dorms have differences between them. Durham. Like Durham, North Carolina. So hopefully this makes sense right here. Grew up in North Carolina a little bit. North Carolina and New York. That's where I got my accent from. Oh, Mubot's not counting errors, but Mubot will count errors now. Where's the counter? Mubot is back now, counting errors. Let's continue on. Last question of the game. Only 71 errors. Honest Ferret versus Bold Wildcat. Now I've made more errors. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys are so mean to me. Continuing on, let's see who's gonna win right here in the final question. Students who don't play Pokemon Go were less likely to reply to the emails sent by the researcher. So what kind of bias is this? Students who don't play Pokemon Go were less likely to reply. I'm going to trigger a bunch of people on this one. It's a little bit tough. They were not replying. That's the key. Because there's only one that just sounds not right. That one's not right. Great job. It is non-response bias. Undercoverage bias is more when your sampling plan wouldn't cover them. So maybe when you do undercoverage, it's because you didn't even reach out to them. So undercoverage would be going to the college Democrats and not getting the views of the college Republicans. If you want more than that, you want the independents and you want the Green Party. So if you go to one group and you undercover the other groups, that's undercoverage. Yeah, let's talk about it. So when we talk about what undercoverage is, undercoverage, like, I'll try to teach in a different way today. Like, I know we'll see who wins in a second here. When you don't attempt to sample a certain group and thus they are not represented enough. So it goes more towards the sample frame. Does this make sense right here? You've undercovered them because you can also have non-response when people who don't respond to the question differ in their views versus differ in their views. Does that make sense? And response, and that's what we had. The people who are not responding differ in their views because the people who don't play Pokemon Go were not responding. Response bias, when the question is worded in a way that creates bias in the answer. And voluntary bias, when people are volunteering and thus have different responses than the population. So voluntary bias, when people volunteer, you get different. I shouldn't have spelled volunteer state. King Bowser, did you win? King Bowser, did you win? Oh my gosh, we gotta see who won right here. Let's turn up the music right here and see who won. Who won? Who's next? Bold Wildcat with 7,000. Honest Ferret. 8 out of 8. Trick some people today. Gentle Yak. Really good Kahoot. We'll see if we have some 320s from 474s here. Perfect timing. I like when they take exactly 30 minutes. It's kind of what I shoot for. 30 minutes is a good time for it. I'm going to go to space here in a moment. Hang around for the next Kahoot. You can learn some regression. We'll have some p-values in there. So let's head back to space right here real quick. Crash is here. I was going to say Throwback Thursdays. What if I do this right now? It's not Throwback Thursdays. I'm going to get the next Kahoot going right here. Let me fade the volume. So get ready. Next Kahoot is coming up. We had 2 questions here that totally got everybody. It was the randomness questions. Wow. Both randomness questions. Or no. The first randomness question got everybody. And then the stratified cluster example got everybody. So really tough questions right there. Make sure to review. I purposely do questions like that to make sure we kind of see where the knowledge gaps are. Having taught this class for quite a while, I've seen where people get confused with cluster and stratified. Who won? Did someone say in the chat who they were who won? It's pretty fun when people are like, I came in this place, I came in this place. Pretty interesting to see. Do we have... Oh, you didn't win? No, it was you. Great job. Excellent work. Good to see you here, Ashlyn. We got the next Kahoot going. Disco. We always listen to the Disco Kahoot. Let's put the Kahoot up in the background. Let's go full screen on it. There we go. Kahoot's up. Congratulations. Positivity. We got another Kahoot going right here. We'll see if anyone plays. You can play. It's for 320 mostly, but no, like it's open. It's wide open. Wide open Kahoot. Remember, Ashlyn, remember to email me $20 Amazon gift card. And I think it was the person last week. And so I'll make sure you send me from the email you want me to send to, because usually I'll confirm, like, is this the email you want me to send to? And then I think I clicked on their email and forgot to send it. And then they said, hey, Brian, and I sent it to them. So thank you for that person reminding me. You can ask everyone else. I've sent them out. Don't worry. So I just felt very bad. I was like, oh no, I think I saw it. Was it Monday morning? They're like, hey, you got ahead. Have a great weekend too, Tyler. There's only 4 people in right now. If they're 320, they've got an advantage. If they're 320, they've got an advantage. Good to see you, Alexandra. Bye. Have a great weekend. If they're 320, they have a huge advantage. Let me turn the music down a little bit here. Purple Sphinx, Expert Eagle, Yellow Panda, Dynamic Panther, Soaring Duck, and Epic Otter. Who will win in this epic Kahoot? Any tips for the 7 trial questions on the Canvas content quiz? Oh, is that the you're trying to get the playing cards or something? I would write down a sheet of paper. And don't try to do it like by looking at it. If it's the one where you have to figure out like which ones get all, it's 7 trials and you have to figure out if you get all of them. Put it on a sheet of paper and then mark yes and no's. So you want to basically, I'll show you right here. You can do a sheet of paper. There we go, a sheet of paper right here. So I hey, what's up, Ahood? Did you see the code? I'll put it back up here in a second. Good to see you, Ahood. And so you want to go here. And sorry there was no Kahoot last week. I was so tired. Good to see you, Nina. And so you want to put down with each try, you want to put down like yeses and nos. And you want to mark it like this. So you want to put like trial 1, trial 2, and just mark your yeses and nos, whether or not it meets the requirements. So that's what you want to do to make sure you get the trials right, and then figure out what % of the time it happens. And you should be all right. You should be all right. We got 6 people in. You're 201. Oh, dude, Adam, that's insane. Yeah, we pushed back a 201 assignment, we pushed back a 320 assignment, and then we did not give 474 an assignment this week. So 320 and 201 had their assignments pushed back one day. You're like, one day? I'm like, it's tough. It's tough. I'm really sorry. It's one heck of a semester. I'm really glad of everyone giving the positivity that we do as I just move around all the time. But all the positivity, that's what we're all about. Yeah, that's awesome, Adam. Yeah, I am 341. Don't they use SQL in that? So if you use DataCamp, you can learn how to use SQL in DataCamp. So SQL is a really good skill. My brother's done some SQL. Let's see here. It's fun earlier. F is a very durable letter. We all know, Mubot knows. We'll get started here in 1 minute. Let me click the 1 minute timer. Everyone knows quote 9. That is the most famous quote from the chat. But join in. Who's gonna win? Oh, you knew the large quote? Right there. We need a message from our sponsors. I know, right? What video could I play right now? I think. Here, we'll play this for Adam right here. We'll play this for Adam, then we'll get started. You ready? I get bored some weekends. Then I'm like, I need to create something. I have something half done. I have 2 brothers half done from Rick and Morty. So I have a Rick and Morty intro, which is half done. So I've got to finish that Rick and Morty intro. That's the 1 minute timer. So hurry up and
join in. Should just talk like this normally. What if I started the whole semester and I just used this voice and I just said, this is my voice? No one would believe it. I could use this. No, I don't know. No one's gonna believe this either. Try this right here. Okay, I could use this maybe. No, I don't know.
UTC is inquiring about wait. Thank you, Andrew. We're gonna get started here. We had some fun. Let's do this. Here we go. Time to Kahoot. It is regression review. What is the overall significance of the model? Look closely. You should be able to see it very quickly. You should be able to see the overall significance of the model very quickly on this. What is the overall statistical significance of the model? Is the output too small? I hope it's not. No one's answering. The overall significance of the model. Oh, we only have 6 people playing. That's all right. We tricked some people with... So, statistical significance can only be between what and what values. Statistical significance can only be between what and what values. Statistical significance can only be between what and what values. Oh, no worries, no worries. This is a really good review right here. The overall significance of the model is the p-value down here, which is the same as this. Now, it's important to know this for multiple regression. So definitely 320, take some good notes right here, that the p-value right here is the overall significance of the model. The overall significance of the model is the p-value for the ANOVA, which is right now the same p-value for the slope of the line. The slope of the line is something for practical significance, but the significance of the model is going to be the p-value of the model down here. Does that make sense, 320? So that is and p-values can only be between 0 and 1. Nice job, Adam, right there. You know what's going on. Good review for next semester. So the p-value can only be between 0 and 1. So if we're looking at statistical significance, only a p-value between 0 and 1. So who's in the lead? Who's in the lead? Oh, we got 2 people here fighting it out. Purple Sphinx. I'm voting on Purple Sphinx. You got this, Purple Sphinx. You got this. You ready? Next question. What is the typical miss the model makes? Do you see the typical miss the model makes? It should be pretty quick to see if you know what typical miss is. I'll draw it out here in a second after this. But the typical miss the model makes, like its average error, what is the typical miss the model makes? We've got 4 answers. I keep worrying I didn't put the right answer in. The typical miss the model makes. Great job, great job. So the typical miss the model makes is the residual standard error. So in 201, so Andrew probably knows this, we learned about residuals. and residuals are how much the model misses by. So if we have a model right here, and then we have points, well, then how far away the points are from the model are the residuals. So these points right here, if you were to trace down, would have a residual. So this is the residual for the point. But what we want to think about is how far are these points away on average? And the way we do this is what's called the root mean squared error. The root mean squared error. What two things cancel here? 320, help us out. What two things cancel? Or 201, what two things cancel with root mean squared error? So what two things cancel with root mean squared error? What two things? Root and squared. Nice job, Anita, right there. So these two things cancel, leaving just the mean error. Now, another name for this is the residual standard error. So it's like the typical miss the residuals make, or our uncertainty, good to see you, Zach, or our uncertainty in the residuals. So it tells us about how far away on average the residuals are. It's a distance about the typical residual is. It's how far away are the typical misses that the model makes. So this is what is the residual standard error or the root mean square error. Both of these mean the same thing. Residual standard error and root mean square error are the same concept. They're just different ways of calling them that. So when you look at your output right here, you would look right to this right here, the residual standard error, and it's 0.6158, which means we typically miss when we predict someone's GPA. It's not on here, but we typically miss the prediction of someone's GPA by about 0.6158 GPA points. That's how much we typically miss someone's GPA prediction. Going on to the next question. Oh, shake up of the leaderboard. Purple Sphinx, nice job. Yellow Panda, you got this, Yellow Panda. You got this. Here we go with the next question. What percent of the variation in Y is explained by the model? We got this. We got this. You know which one this is. If you're in 201, you know what the percent of variation in Y explained by the variation in X is. It does say by the model right here. We could say by the variation in the model. But if we're doing multiple models later on, we want to say the percent of variation in Y explained by the model is this. And you should look right for something in the output immediately. Knowing the output is very important. Where in the output are you looking for the percent of variation in Y explained by the variation in the model? Or the model itself. R squared, Andrew. You are so right. Nice job, Andrew. 1,000 points. It is R squared. And this is the R squared right here. 4.61% of the variation in someone's GPA is explained by the variation in their weight. So look at that. Did you get that one, Andrew? Are you on the leaderboard, Andrew? Are you going to win the 320? Are you going to win the 320 Kahoot? You might. That'd be pretty crazy. So this is the adjusted R squared, which is adjusted for how many variables in the model. Nice job. So this is adjusted for how many variables in the model. This is the multiple R squared, which is the R squared. Well, if you got this one, you might be coming back right here. So let's see. No, Yellow Panda. Yellow Panda, you still got that. Yellow Panda, you still got this. Epic Otter, great work. And Dynamic Panther. Question number 4. What is the proper interpretation of slope? Watch out, 201. It's not the answer I'm blocking. Don't worry, the green answer is wrong. It's an intercept interpretation I'm blocking. There should be something that jumps out to you immediately here. It's 320. You should know it immediately when you see something on this screen. Just read the start of it. There's no trick to this. If you're in 320 and you see the start of it and you're like, oh, I know that. So in 320, you should see something immediately right here. Oh no, we tricked a lot of people. So it's two individuals who differ, or two students who differ in their weight by 1 pound are expected to differ in their GPAs by 0.0037, where the student who weighs more is expected to have a lower GPA. So two students who differ. So make sure, especially for the test, I'm probably going to have a written test portion that you'll have to put in written responses for on the Respondus test. So we'll have to go in and grade them. That'll be fun. I'll probably just do it myself because I'll just stay up one night because I don't want to, I don't know. With tests, I like to get tests back as soon as possible. But if you have to write out these written responses, and then the grading will be standardized if I grade everything. But when it comes to interpreting the slope, the reason we don't use why do we not use this interpretation in 320? Why don't we say for each additional pound a student gains, their GPA will decrease by 0.07 points? Why would we not use this interpretation where we would say For each additional pound a student gains, we'd expect their GPA to decrease by 0.07 points. Or this one, why is this one better right here? Two students who differ in their weight. It makes it sound like there's a weight is causing the GPA. Anita, great answers, Anita. 1,000 bucks right there, Anita. On top of this week, crazy points this week. But Anita, you're 100% right. This one does not sound like cause and effect because we're talking about two students who differ in their weight by 1 pound. The student who weighs more is expected to have a lower GPA by 0.07 points. Where this one sounds like cause and effect, where we say for each additional pound a student gains, we expect their GPA to decrease by 0.07. Don't use that interpretation. It's wrong for 320. We use it in 201 because my Pearson uses it. One of these days, I'm going to tell Terry or who's ever in charge, I'm going to say, we need to just go to the real interpretation, the real world interpretation of what's happening. It's not about change. It's about two individuals in a population. I'm so sorry, Andrew. I led you astray. I told you wrong in 201. I didn't mean to trick the king. Yellow Panda. Good to see you again, Yellow Panda, rocketing up to third place right there. Excellent work. Let's see who's going to win right here with question number 5. How many assumptions do we fail? Ooh. If you know how to do this one, I hope I clicked the right answer. How many assumptions do we fail? How many assumptions do we fail? I have a way of making these quizzes. I always put the right answer in the top left corner. So when I'm writing them, yeah, I think whoa, everyone got it wrong. Oh, no. How do we pass? And it is the right answer. This is the right answer. How do we pass or fail assumptions right here? How do we pass or fail assumptions? And how many assumptions are there? There's 3 assumptions right here. There's the linearity of the model. There's the equal spread of the points. So you have the line. This is QQ straight enough. No outliers. So the model needs to be linear. The points need to have an equal spread. And then the residuals need to be normally distributed. So how do we pass or fail these assumptions right here? When you look at this output, how do you know if you pass or fail an assumption? It's a really good review. If we're getting questions wrong, that's a good thing. If everyone gets everything right, then I'm like, well, I made it too easy. How do we know we pass or fail an assumption? Because the null is that linearity is good. The null is that equal spread is good. The null is that normality is good. So how would you pass an assumption? The p-value would be you got to run the bat file. I think it was the other file format. That would be if we pass an assumption. If we pass assumptions, the p-values are above 0.05. If we fail assumptions, the p-values are below 0.05. Does that make sense? Love it, Andrew. And just cracking me up here in the chat. So which assumptions do we fail, Anita? Which assumptions do we fail right here? Which assumptions do we fail when we're checking assumptions right here? So I think, do you see it now? Which assumptions we fail? White's 2. So you should be able to tell which 2 we fail pretty easily now. And it's good review. This is, you just got to see it a few times. And then once you know how to do it, you're like, okay, I look at this and I see this. Okay, this is the ones we failed. If you just know how to read the output, it gets a lot easier. It's just practice. You have to see it 3-4 times before you remember. And like each time you see it, you're like, okay, that's how I do that. So what assumptions do we fail right here? Bingo. Nice job, Anita. You're totally right. We failed the linearity and we failed the normality. The next step is to see if the sample size is greater than 25, which it is. So we can continue, which means we're kind of going to the next question right here. Let's see. It's a true false. Well, the leaderboard did not change. So here's the next question right here. True or false? If we fail the test, test with p-values, we can't use the regression model. We're done. It's game over. If we fail the tests, we have to stop right here. If we fail the tests, we have to stop right here. Can't use the model, throw it out. I gave some hints to it a second ago. Mario updated on Made It. I'm playing that Mario 35. Cool game. I got 2 first places in a row just earlier. What do we do if we fail the tests? Because if we fail the tests, if we fail any of these tests, we then check the sample size. And if the sample size is larger than 25, which it is, we look at the what's. What will we do if we have a large enough sample size to continue on? Not large enough condition, but if there's at least 25 sample size, what step do we do next? If there's a sample size of at least 25, what will we do next? We will look at the whats. Look at the plots, and you're totally right. Yep. So you don't, if you fail the test, it's not game over yet. So if you fail the test, you then look at the sample size. If the sample size is 25 or more, you continue on, and then you look at the plots. Speaking of the plots, get ready. Here we go. These are tricky questions. Oh, Purple Sphinx, you got this. This is a close. If you could just, if I was playing this, I might try to answer quickly. I might be like, I'm just gonna answer. Let's see who's gonna win right here. We only got 4 more questions. Which plot checks linearity? The first, second, third, or none of these check linearity? Which of these plots check the linearity? It'll be interested to see which plot checks the linearity. Oh, I have a feeling no people are going to answer. It's not this one. No! It's not that one. What is the only thing this plot checks right here? What is... Oh, I'm blocking it. I'm blocking it. We need... He's returning.
I'm back. Okay, what is the only thing this plot checks right here? I sound different today. What is the only thing this plot checks right here? I haven't been around a while. Brian said, go away, Tiny Brian. It checks what? What is the only thing this plot checks? Normality. Yep. Checks to see if the whats are normal. What's it going to check? It checks to see if the residuals are normal. Tiny Brian's back. I'm Tiny Brian! You know who I am. Okay.
Go away, Tiny Brian. You did a good job. Okay. So that plot right there only checks to see if the residuals are normal. You may not realize this any flyer on the screen a little bit. This line right here is your regression line. This is your regression line. So when you check for the linearity, you're going to see if the line goes through the center of the data. So you want to see if the line goes through the center. So if it were to look bad, let's see what it would look like if it looked bad. We can kind of do this. I did it earlier. 2 seconds. Let me go to space right here. So, well, we got it up. Yep, there's the model. Okay. So we got it in the background right here. Let's do this. Let's make a model. Let's go here to X is 1 through 100. Y is equal to 8 plus 2 times X. 2 times X plus 2 times X raised to the second power. Okay. Now let's go to M save into LM, Y tilde X, and let's visualize it. Okay. So this model right here, does everyone see that this model is a parabola? Let's go to the main screen. Boop. Does everyone see this model here is a parabola? It's a parabolic model. So the line is not a good fit. So where should we see the line not being a good fit? In the first plot. So let's do the check regression on this. And let's see if we see it in the first plot. And take a look. Where do you see the parabolic shape? Now you see the residuals are not good over here. This is not a line. This red line here is the normality. What's up, Zach? I guess it's... No worries. Well, if you do take 320, you're getting some knowledge ahead of time right here. But do you remember the earlier shape we saw of the parabola going through this? The parabola? And then you notice it right here in the nonlinearity of it. Does this make sense? That the first plot is showing you the nonlinearity of it. You can look to see if the line, which this line right here, this black line, that black line is this red line right here. That is our line. So this plot, the first plot, is where we look for linearity. I love putting that on the test because it's a common misconception. And so people think that the third plot is where you look for linearity. No. This is the normality of the residuals. Oh, I wish we'd had some Smash. I want to do the, Purple Sphinx? Isn't that you, Andrew? Andrew, you might answer quickly. You could win this. Take some, you got to compete against Epic Otter, though. You're terrible at Smash? Okay, we'll do some classes in it. We'll teach some Smash. Smash 101. Which plot checks equal spread? Now, which plot checks the equal spread? Which plot checks the equal spread? Which plot checks the equal spread? I know Epic Otter's doing a great job. Which plot checks the equal spread? So close. Oh my gosh. I'm tricking everybody, not on purpose either. This plot right here is going to check the equal spread. It looks to see if there's an equal spread across the axis, across the predicted values. So what we want to do is to see if, and here I'll draw on it. Let me bring up my snipping tool. So what we want to do when you look at this plot right here is you want to look to see if it gets thicker or thinner in any way. So you want to take this plot and you want to ask, does it get thicker or thinner? This is the plot thickening from 201. So you're asking, does this plot really get thicker or thinner in any way? And maybe you might say, maybe it gets a little thinner. I don't know, there's just maybe some outliers down there. So maybe I'd say the majority of the points are there. But you're trying to ask, does the plot get thicker or thinner in any direction? What are the only two things that these middle plots will do? This plot right here is looking at the normality of the residuals under a normal curve. And this is a QQ plot for normality, which is the one we should use. So this is looking at the normality of the residuals. And this right here also, this one right here, is the one we don't look at. And it has whether or not the residuals fit under the normal curve. Do you notice how this line is red? That line is red because that's the normal curve we see right here with this line. If these points follow the red line, they're normal. But if you notice, they do not follow the red line that well, so they're not that normal. 2 more questions. We got a lot of new things, Adam. We got a lot of new things. Nobody got points. Continuing on, sorry. Which plot best checks normality of residuals? Which plot best checks the normality of the residuals? Really good questions here. I'm going to put these straight on the test. Mark my words. These will all be on the test. You now know it. You can just put them in your notes. What is the best check for normality of residuals? Scared. Nice job. Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. I'm so glad to see that because I kept saying this is the one we look at for the normality of residuals. This is the one we look at for normality of residuals. This is the one we look at for normality of the residuals. And don't look at the histogram. It's just not that important. Andrew, that is awesome. Is Andrew going to jump up on the leaderboard here? Epic Otter. Great job. I wonder who Epic Otter is. Epic Otter is in the lead. Powerful lead right here. Let's see who's going to win here with the last question. Let's find out. All models are wrong. All models are wrong. There's some I like on here. I was writing these today. My favorite one, which is not a right answer, might be the green one. All models are wrong, so don't use them. This class will be pointless. All models are wrong, so don't use them. Statistics can help. All models are wrong, but one is right. I feel so bad. Someone selected that. That's impossible. If all models are wrong, one can't be right. It's a contradiction. All models are wrong. Some are useful. I'm glad that the one kind of plausible answer was chosen. Andrew, if that was you, don't worry. That's all right. The other two answers, I'm glad no one chose them because this would make our classes pointless. All models are wrong, so don't use them. A horrible quote. And then all models are wrong, but one is right. All right, I got 2. Let's go. Nice job, Gabriel, right there. Excellent work. Good to see you in the chat right here. 30%. Could I get a curve? All wrong equals 1 right. You got that one excellent. Great job. And don't worry if you got this one wrong. But statistics can help is a decent answer. That's the only probably plausible one on here. The winner is going to be, or third place, is Soaring Duck. Great job. Really hard Kahoot. Next, we have Purple Sphinx. You were my vote for number 1, but with 7 out of 10, amazing job. Amazing job. Epic Otter. Make sure to email me, remember? Email me and say, this is the email I want you to send the Amazon gift card to, so let me know. Send me the email. Wow, we do so good at doing these in 30 minutes. I've like got it down to an art to do the Kahoot in 30 minutes. Got up to 6th. That's awesome. That's you got 6th place. I like it. Excellent work. Excellent job. Hop back here to the main. Can you get a curve? Sure, you're now 5th place. 5th place. There's a tie for 5th. Kahoot, but in art form. Love it. No, excellent work. Really good practice today, and hopefully people use the video to review. And so good seeing you here, Adam. I'm glad you can tell that we've kind of improved what we're doing a little bit. Got a lot more videos. We made this kind of background and stuff. A whole bunch of other videos. But we're trying to make it look as cool as possible and as fun, as interactive. Basically, you know, like, I don't know. I think Zoom is all right, but I'm just really lucky because we've got really good cameras, we've got really good lights, and we've got a good computer and everything. Nice job, Dan, right there. Excellent work. Good practice, kind of going over some different topics and p-values and stuff like that. Oh, what's up, Andrew? Andrew, people are talking about their points. Andrew can always come in here and just make everyone feel sad, even me with his points. So, but I've been here for 97 hours now. 97 hours. It'd be really interesting at the end of the semester to see how long I taught. Is that a gray hair? Is that a blonde hair? I don't know. It looks like gray hair. Be gray in 5 years or something. My beard, if you remember from this summer, Andrew might remember I had a beard for a moment, and my beard actually had some gray in it. Definitely means I'm getting old right there. Gray in my beard. Indeed, B for Brian. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the positivity. And, you know, I'm saying, I'm really lucky that UT has said, hey, we're going to give you all these cameras, not give, but let me use all these cameras, this computer. You know, I've got a tablet right here. We got that via a grant. We got the Go XLR mixer. So, you know, we can just be like, play some Mega Man music, you know? Because who wouldn't want to just listen to Mega Man music? We've got all the stream decks around me. It's pretty crazy. I'm trying to think, like, I don't have all the cameras hooked up right now. So many things. I'm still waiting on my Foley come in and close to be able to say I'm having a 1/4 life. Wait, what? What, Andrew? Oh, your beard to fully come in. Your beard to. You'll have to post a picture. You'll have to post a picture of yourself with the beard, so we can all see. We can see because I basically did no shave November, but not in November. And then I think we're still gonna do the mullet, but I'm wondering how short does your hair have to go in the front to get the mullet? Like how short does that have to go to do the mullet? I mean, think if you're about to if you think about it, you reach this pressure. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you, Zach. You are right. I'm really lucky because I am able to reach out to more students and post review videos and stuff. I was talking to my friend the other day when we had that in-person test canceled last year, right as COVID began to ramp up. Started all the time just to be canceled. Yeah, that was insane. I felt really bad. I think they announced Knox County had its first case, and everyone was freaking out. Think about how many cases we have like daily now, but we had just announced our first case, and everyone was freaking out. And I called off the test because we were getting reports that no one was going to show up, and everyone was freaking out. And so I'm sorry about that. That was all me. I take 100% responsibility for that. And I'm glad I did it. I know, right? What a time to be alive. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. I remember I can tell you where I called it off. I can tell you when I decided and when I sent out, because I think I went up to the department right after and I had everyone send out the emails immediately. But I was right outside the studio and I was talking to, Lane Morris. I think I was talking to Lane Morris, who's one of the directors, deans at Haslam. And it was Lane Morris, I believe. And he's like, I support you. He said, you're a leader. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. Calling off the exam. Because I was telling him what I was thinking. He said, well, I think you've already made up your mind. I was like, yep. Just kind of need to talk to someone. So we did it. And it was, I was full steam ahead. I was like, we're going to do this. And then just everything kept getting worse. In the reality of things, I think it was the right decision. People had their minds on everything but stuff. Exactly. That was what I was like. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And I was like, if people don't feel comfortable and I don't feel comfortable, then what am I doing? And, you know, it's a crazy decision to do. And then we tried to work solutions for everybody. We tried to make it fair. We had people who'd already taken the makeup. I had already given a makeup that morning. And so we tried to be as fair as possible to everybody. And we just tried to listen to situations. But it was such a reacting to the world type thing of, okay, wait, we have the exam tonight, but that'd be the last exam. Man, I'm getting sad now because I guess you were there for the first exam. Did we do it in alumni? And did I play piano? Usually we go to alumni and I play piano. I missed that. I miss going to alumni and playing piano before the exam. So usually the piano's over in the corner and I go and take the thing off of it. Yep. We'll tell stories of that now. Before the exam, Brian would go over play the piano. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of fun. I pull the piano up to the front and just start playing the piano. Just some chill music, some Ben Folds. And so back in the day, I love giving exams in alumni. It's just so chill. And then we have people walking around. It's pretty easy to watch people just to make sure no one's cheating, obviously. And but yeah, I missed that. I missed the we had all the we have all the exams printed. I don't know where they're at now. They're in my office or something. But we had all the exams printed up. We had all the exams ready to go. They had been delivered. We have all the exams. We have 1,400 exams. And then it's like we're getting word that students are basically not going to show up. And Mario Kart and Candy were in full infection. I know, right? Well, I'm hoping next semester things are more back to normal because the plan is that I'm supposed to fly in once a month. So the plan is basically I spend 1 month in Knoxville and then 3 months in Texas, or 1 week in Knoxville and then 3 weeks in Texas, and I kind of fly back and forth. So that way people don't mess with the chair's head. Yeah, I know, right? We had so many good things. Things will be back to normal again. Things will get back to normal. I'll be able to fly to Knoxville, and it'll be really chill. And then we'll get some stock and barrel burger. Adam and Andrew, so good seeing you. Does anyone else have any last questions? Reminiscing about the good old times here. Did you say you buy a house out in Texas? Oh no, we didn't buy a house. But I want to buy a house in Knoxville. Like that's kind of ambitions and goals here is to buy a house in Knoxville. So Chelsea's doing excellent. She's doing great. She's loving it all. She's doing excellent. Yeah, I tell her my students are like, how's your fiance? How's Chelsea doing? She's like, how do they like? I'll talk about you, because you're my fiance. She's like, okay. But no, the plan is, so if nice neighborhoods in Knoxville, my sister does real estate, but trying to figure out a good place to live, good house size. There's so many things that go into buying a house, and obviously we're nowhere near buying the house. I guess, so you shouldn't try to count down your life. You shouldn't be like, I'm this closer to Knoxville because that means you're this much closer to, like whatever. Build one. Well, so we got to get a plot of land then, right, Andrew? Then how do we build a house? It's kind of like how nice. That's a good question. Like, I don't know, like the 2 to 4 range, the 200 to 400,000 range. It's so crazy because, a very small house in some communities could be 400,000, and then a larger house in some communities could be 300,000. It all depends location. Secret rooms and passageways. So good seeing you too, Adam. Just chilling out for a moment, saying hey to everybody. This is the end of Kahoot times. To find the land to build, and then I don't know the whole process of building a house. My brother, he's in a new community. He's in like one of those, they just built that community thing and their house is like brand new. Then I've heard there's so many issues with brand new houses. Everyone's like, oh, brand new houses, there's so many issues. I'm like, I don't know. I've never owned a house. People? Sounds like I know people. I'll make things happen, Brian. It's like, okay, wait, what are you gonna do, Andrew? What do you mean people, Andrew? Should I watch out for you, Andrew? People? Exactly. No, I think there's some places really close to campus that are really nice. And then I'm like, well, maybe we could just be one of those downtown people. Downtown apartments are really expensive though. Like if you look at downtown Knoxville, you get a huge house or a mansion for the price of downtown Knoxville sometimes to have like a nice apartment. Yeah, the downtown Knoxville stuff is really pricey. Like I want to live in a 1,500 square feet apartment. Okay, that's $1 million. Like I don't know. It's insane. Like I don't know if I want to spend $1 million on an apartment. I don't have $1 million. Love living there. I know, right? That'd be so cool. You just be like, you know what? Like I should just buy Soccer Taco. I don't have the money to do any of this. Why am I talking about it? I don't know, because it's dreams. Because if you buy Soccer Taco and you could just eat Soccer Taco every day, that's the dream. The dream is wake up and get some steak, like tacos, just like Soccer Taco every day. Good seeing you here, Zach. So good seeing you. The house across the street from my old place I was renting sold for 1.2 mil. I'm not shocked. Yeah, because you're close to downtown, so crazy, crazy prices down there. And then who knows what the market's gonna do? Like, what if all of a sudden the housing market changes and it's like, oh, you bought your house for 1.2 mil, now it's worth 200,000, and you're like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, the whole price, everything's changed, whole economy's changed, all prices changed, because there was the housing crash in 08, 09. I think 08, 09, right when Obama took office, the economy went. Psh. I mean, it was the end of the Bush time. I'm like, does everyone remember this besides me? I'm not saying any president or anything caused it. It was literally the housing crisis of, I think, 08, if I am correct. And so, yeah, Andrew remembers it. So it's just, you got to remember, like, when these, you're like, okay, who was in office, what happened, because you just kind of remember by the timing of it. And so, yeah, there was a huge just shift to the whole market. And the big thing is one of the people I worked with, he was buying a house, and so many people were moving to Nashville. Interesting. Oh, I guess, yeah, with the Music City and everything, Nashville. Oh, that's interesting. Nashville's big growing. Nashville's a cool city. Um, the thing was, this guy I worked with said he went to buy a house, and he was going to buy like a $200,000 house. And they're like, well, why don't you buy a $300,000 house? And he's like, I don't want to. And they're like, well, we can give you a loan for 300,000. He's like, no, I'm going to buy a $200,000 house. I'm not going to buy 300,000. He's like, they're like, no, the money's cheap. Take the 300,000. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't need to. So I think I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I buy a house. But so Brian will be back in Knoxville. Andrew, everybody, good seeing you. We'll end here. Bye, Andrew. Bye, everybody.